The scripture reads, "The earth is the Lord's and all its fullness, the world and those who dwell therein. For he has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the waters. Who may ascend into the hill of the Lord, or who may stand in his holy place? He who has clean hands and a pure heart, he who has not lifted his soul to an idol, nor sworn deceitfully, he shall receive blessing from the Lord and his righteousness from the God of his salvation." And so when I think about that, and there's more to Psalm 24, but just those first 5 verses, when we really think about it, there are a lot of people who, wonder who can come into the presence of the Lord. And some people have even assumed that they are so holy that God will come to them or meet them, or God will have to humble himself to come to them. But one thing I want to share is that it doesn't work that way. We have to humble ourselves in the presence of God. We have to submit ourselves before him, but we also have to not give ourselves to the world in such that we are idolizing so many things. And many of you may have heard the show American Idol, and this is where people just idolize people. And a lot of times when I think about how words are used, it can seem as if things are being normalized to where what used to be an issue is not an issue anymore. And it's to a point to where a lot of people will look up to other individuals and say, "I idolize you, I worship you," or "I just can't live without you." And you'll say so many different phrases in that context or in that line, not realizing that that is a big problem, especially because we serve the God, the creator of heaven and earth, who is a jealous God, meaning that when it comes to words like worship and idolizing and marveling after, or even just adoring, God does not like that too well at all, because you begin to look at someone else as being all powerful, as being just this great and mighty figure. And for a lot of people, they don't even believe that God exists. They think that God is just an ant, and the person that they idolize is this big giant. And a lot of times people have even said things or even done things, like it also says in verse 4, sworn deceitfully, where you're just easily led to being in a bind, where you say something or you sign something without realizing that you have been deceived. And there are many people who are just living deceived today. And they think that they are living in their truth. They're living the truth, but not realizing that the truth is in the Bible, and the truth that you're holding on to is false doctrine. So we have to really put things in their proper context. God is true and every man's a liar, which means that apart from God, we are sinful, okay? And so how do we not be deceived? How do we really approach God? How do we avoid even people who claim to be believers but are not believers? Their doctrine and their ways, their fruit will clearly tell you they can care less about you. So how do we really avoid that? Well, it involves really having clean hands, being around people who are like-minded in the faith, people who have proclaimed Jesus Christ as Lord, people who worship God and who are not ashamed of the gospel. People who, I know for some people, will be bold enough to say, "Hey, what you're doing is not right. I love you too much to see you fail." We have to be open enough to receive that form of just godly love, okay? That's godly love, where it challenges us. We don't like it, but it's not something to where it's criticizing or it's taking us down. It's just saying, "Hey, I see what you're doing is not right. It's going to harm you. It's going to do more harm. I've been through that, and I don't want you to go through that." And so as a brother, sister, I want to share with you like, hey, if you need help, I'm here to help. I want to pray with you, and we're going to get through this together. There's no judgment. I don't have anything against you. I just want to see you do better. And so we have to have that mind when it comes to really being people of God.